The widow of a fallen January 6th police officer is speaking exclusively with CBS News after winning a civil trial against the rioter who beat her husband during the 2021 Capitol attack. After less than 2 hours of deliberating, a federal jury in Washington awarded Erin Smith and the estate of police officer Jeffrey Smith $500,000. It will be paid by the rioter. Officer Smith died by suicide 9 days after defending the Capitol. His wife said he developed a concussion, which caused psychological and physical trauma. The jury's decision last week came months after Smith's attacker was pardoned by President Trump when he returned to the White House in January. Joining me now is CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, great to see you. What else did Erin have to say to you?
This really is, Meg, quite a landmark civil victory for Erin Smith. After the pardons a half a year ago, the exoneration of 1,500 January 6 defendants through the pardon process, the release of hundreds of them from prison or from upcoming trials, a Washington, D.C. jury once again, in the case of Erin Smith's civil suit, ruled against a January 6 rioter. The juries have been unmoved, even though the pardons came down in January. What Erin Smith is arguing is that her husband, Jeffrey, seen there, a former D.C. police officer who responded amid the violence on January 6th, was a changed man after he was at the Capitol January 6th. He was very dark, very quickly. He was clearly traumatized in addition to being concussed from the violence in the crowd. He died by suicide about a week and a half later. Erin Smith argued successfully a few years ago that this was a line of duty death, his death by suicide, that it was the trauma of January 6th that caused him to die by suicide. Then she went to court against one of the rioters accused of being part of the mob and convinced a jury that that rioter should be held civilly liable for assault and battery and pay damages. And the jury came back in about 2 hours, Meg, including the lunch break, and ruled in her favor, issuing a $500,000 reward.
2 hours. She also addressed her work, Scott, in advocating for official line of duty death designations for officers who die by suicide after traumatic events. What kind of challenges go into that?
Yeah, this is a new thing. There's a lot of challenges because it hasn't been done before. Congress had to pass a new law a couple years back to allow police deaths by suicide to ever be deemed official line of duty deaths. It was something that was not done before. Erin Smith helped lobby for the law to change, then advocated for her husband to be named one of the recipients of a designation of official line of duty death. She managed to make that happen. Now she's fighting to get her husband's name more fully recognized on the National Fallen Law Enforcement Officers Memorial as a line of duty death. That has not been accomplished yet, but she is now a reluctant, but so far pretty successful advocate.
Yes, very successful indeed. You're also following some news regarding the next headquarters of the FBI. What have you learned there?
The FBI is working to move out of its 50-year-old home, the J. Edgar Hoover building in Washington, which the FBI director says, not metaphorically, but literally is falling apart and is a danger. There were plans years ago and funding set aside to move them to a city called Greenbelt, Maryland. Brand new facility, highly secured, not falling apart. President and the FBI director don't like that plan anymore, so they're going to try to move a few streets over to the Ronald Reagan building. That is going to cause political war here. There were money spent, laws made to get it to move to Maryland. Instead, the FBI director, Kash Patel, wants to go across the street. This will not be solved easily, and it may delay the move out of the 50-year-old Hoover building.
Never a dull moment in D.C. Scott MacFarlane covering it all. Thank you.
Thank you.